How many times have you smiled while breaking inside? How many times have you said, "I'm fine," when your heart was begging for rest? How many times have you given everything to others and told yourself, "This is what a good woman does"? And tell me honestly, when was the last time someone asked you if you were okay? This story is for every woman who carries invisible weight. For every woman whose kindness is mistaken for weakness. For every woman who keeps going, even when she has nothing left. Once upon a time, in a poor village surrounded by dusty roads and broken huts, lived a young widow named Meera. She was not born weak. Life made her tired. Her husband had died in a factory accident, sudden, violent, unfair. One morning, she was a wife with dreams. By nightfall, she was a widow with 2 small children and an empty house. No savings, no support, no safety net. People whispered behind her back, "She won't survive long. A woman alone cannot raise children. She will break." Meera heard the whispers. She felt them crawl into her chest at night. But every morning, before the sun fully rose, Meera sat up, wiped her tears, looked at the sky, and whispered to herself, "It will get better." I must not give up, not because she was fearless, but because her children were watching. There were days when there was no food in the house. Real days. Hungry days. Her children cried. Their voices cut into her like knives. A mother feels hunger twice, once in her stomach and once in her heart. Neighbors passed by. They offered pity, not help. Poor woman. So unfortunate. Allah knows best. Words. Only words. That night, Meera boiled water in an old pot. Nothing else. Just water. She added a pinch of salt and stirred slowly, pretending it was something more. She called her children close and said with a soft smile, "We are making magic soup. It fills the belly with strength." Her children laughed. They believed her. She turned away so they wouldn't see the tears falling into the pot. That smile did not come from food. It came from hope. The next morning, Meera went to work in other people's fields. The sun burned her skin. The soil cracked her hands. The payment was barely enough to survive. Yet people noticed something strange. She never complained. She always helped others first. She shared even when she had nothing. Other women leaned on her emotionally. "Meera, listen to my problems. Meera, can you watch my children? Meera, can you work my shift today?" She said yes, again and again, because women are taught that saying no makes them selfish, because kindness is expected, not respected. At night, Meera lay awake, her body aching, her mind racing. Why am I so tired? Why do I feel invisible? Why does giving so much still feel like not enough? Still, every evening, she hugged her children and said, "We are closer to a good life." Someone once asked her, "Why do you still smile?" She answered quietly, "If I lose hope, I will lose everything." One afternoon, exhaustion finally caught up with her. Meera sat under a tree near the village temple. Her hands trembled. Her head spun. For the first time, she allowed herself to stop. Not to rest, but because she had no strength left. A woman approached her, an elderly woman with calm eyes and a worn shawl. She sat beside Meera without speaking for a long moment. Then she said gently, "You look like someone who carries a mountain on her back." Meera swallowed hard. Her voice cracked. "Yes," she said, "but I believe one day I'll reach the top." The woman studied her face. "Or," she said softly, "you might collapse before you get there." That sentence hit Meera like truth she had been avoiding. The woman introduced herself as Asha. She was a community worker who traveled between villages, helping women find work, education, and dignity. She didn't give Meera pity. She gave her understanding. "You are strong," Asha said. "But strength without boundaries becomes suffering." Meera frowned. "No one ever told me that." Asha continued. "Women like you give and give. You think love means sacrifice without limit. But the world will take everything you offer and still ask for more." Meera felt tears rise. "Then what should I do?" she asked. Asha answered slowly. "Learn when to give, and learn when to protect yourself." That week changed everything. Asha helped Meera get a job at a women's center in the nearby town. It wasn't easy. Meera doubted herself. "Am I capable? Am I worthy? What if I fail?" But she went anyway. Her children were enrolled in a free school. For the first time, Meera saw them hold books instead of empty bowls. She learned sewing, accounting, confidence. Slowly, something shifted inside her. She stopped saying yes to everything. She stopped apologizing for resting. She stopped believing her worth depended on how much she suffered. Some people didn't like the change. "You've changed," they said. "You're not as helpful anymore." Meera smiled gently. "No," she replied. "I've learned to help myself too." With time, Meera began teaching sewing to village girls. Girls who were told to stay quiet. Girls who were taught to shrink. Girls who thought pain was normal. She told them, "Your kindness is a gift. Do not let the world steal it from you." She earned money. She built stability. She built boundaries. Her children grew strong not just in body, but in respect for their mother. The village began to talk again. But this time, the whispers were different. She is no longer just a widow. She is a leader. She is strength. At a village gathering, someone asked Meera, "What was your biggest strength?" She paused. Then she said, "I had nothing. No money. No help. No protection." She looked at the women around her. "But I had hope. And later, I learned wisdom. Hope kept me alive. Wisdom taught me how to live." She took a breath. Positive thinking alone is not enough, but it gives you the courage to take the first step. And boundaries give you the power to keep walking. So listen carefully, woman who is listening to this story. Your kindness is not weakness. Your empathy is not a flaw. Your softness is not something to apologize for. But you must protect your heart. Hope will lift you, but self-respect will save you. Stop giving from an empty cup. Stop believing suffering is your duty. Start choosing yourself without guilt. You are not here just to survive. You are here to rise. And if this story touched you, share it with another woman who needs to hear it. Because when women rise together, the world changes. Choose hope. Choose boundaries. Choose yourself.